Okay, so we are going to do trials, or I'm going to walk you through anyway. I'm not going to actually show you doing the lab because you can visualize it now, I'm sure. And I'll give you the data that I got when I did it. You know I really did it because I've got the little marks on my face. What we did for trial 2, and again, you're going to want to have good reproducible data when you do this, okay? So real nice reproducible so that you can come back. Somebody else could do the lab based on what you said, okay? So we want to be as complete as possible. So our second method, we're just going to use your basic beaker, okay? So it is a 150 milliliter beaker. So you want to be as specific as possible. So they're like, what kind of beaker? So it's a 150 ml beaker. We used a watch glass. Okay, now watch glass looks like a big contact lens. It just kind of serves as a nice little top for that thing. Okay, so and then we heated it over the Bunsen burner, and we used the wire gauze instead of the clay triangle. Okay. So that was the method I chose. I thought put the top on there so it won't spatter. Again, I decided to weigh this watch glass. So I'll say beaker watch glass when we're doing the maths. Okay? So we started off, just weigh the beaker and the watch glass, and that is 88.28 grams. 88.28 grams. All right, and then I put extra hydrate in there this time. I tried a little bit higher amount. I thought as a little bigger container, why not go with a little bigger, a larger amount of hydrate. So that went all the way up to 92.80 grams. So better say what that is first, sorry. The beaker, the watch glass, and the hydrate weighs 92.80 grams. So then you can, again, just subtract those two, and you'll get the mass of the hydrate. So I'll give you that. The hydrate that I added then was 4.52 grams. 4.52 grams. All right. So as you're writing up the lab, write it as if you did it. Say heat the beaker for 10 minutes. Allow it to cool for 5 minutes and weigh it again. All right. And I did that. And the beaker, the watch glass, and the anhydrate weighed 91.29 grams. 91.29 grams at the end. And that's all I need to do because you can figure out the calculations from this point. I will give you a couple of hints so you know if your answer is in the right ballpark. When we did this, there was water condensing along the side, and putting the cover on turned out to be kind of a bad idea because the condensate, some of the water stayed in the beaker, and it just didn't quite heat it enough to get it, so it was like little drops of water along the side. So that would mean that water would not be considered part of the hydrate, therefore lowering the theoretical below 36%, and that's exactly what happened. It's quite a few percentage points below. It's in the ballpark, but it's just a couple, 3, maybe 4 percentage points below. I'll let you figure out the exact number for that. And that's obviously going to be a big part of getting your 50 points on this lab is getting that percent of water using trial 2, which was the beaker method. So 33.0%. Oh, crap. What? Okay. For trial 2, I'm going to give you the answer that you're working to. I just read it right off of there. 33.0%. I was going to tell you that 3 sig figs, but that's the actual answer. So a little bonus there for you. So figure out how you can come up with that number and show your work for that that part of the lab. I won't do that on the last trial. Last trial, you're on your own. Okay, so here is trial number 3. Okay, so that's all you got to do for trial 2 now. Finish that one up. Hit pause whenever you need to. This one, I used the evaporating dish, and just the evaporating dish. And I thought I'd shake things up a little bit. There's a couple of things I did differently. I did not put a cover on it. However, I chose, and this is what the people that are doing the lab, they can do these things or not do them. And I chose to kind of move the particles around with the stirring rod as it was heating to kind of try and help break them up a little bit and see what effect that had. And it had kind of an interesting effect. So here we go. Trial 3. Evaporating dish. And you can, use some abbreviations in your notes as long as you have like a key saying, if you're going to put ED, just make sure I know what that is, or the reader knows what that is. Okay? So, the evaporating dish weighed 40.75 grams. 40.75 grams. All right? And then I put a small amount of hydrate in it. All right? And it only went up to 41.87 grams. I thought I'd just try a variable, see what kind of results we get. We did really well on the first trial, not as good with 33% on the second trial, but we'll see how this third trial went. So, so the evaporating dish and the hydrate was 41.87 grams. So when you subtract that minus the weight of just the dish, the hydrate weighs 1.12 grams. All right? So I didn't cover it, so say that, and I placed it on the wire gauze, on the Bunsen burner, heated for 10 minutes, stirring the crystals occasionally with the stirring rod. Okay, so that was the 10 minutes, and then it cooled for 5, and I waited at the end. The evaporating dish and the anhydrate weighed 41.45 grams. 41.45 grams. And then when you do these calculations, I'm going to give you a hint without giving you the final answer. First of all, it's a little bit, I saw my screen that was kind of dimming there, so I'm going to quick plug this in before you guys disappear on me and get the power back. There it is, the power's back. Okay, so the amount was so small that when you get your mass of water and even your mass of anhydrate, it's only going to be 2 sig figs. So therefore, your final answer could only be 2 sig figs. So that it'll have to be rounded to the nearest whole number. And I did notice that with when it didn't cover, it pops every once in a while. That's called decrepitation. You don't need to know that word. It's kind of just a fun little word. As as that water leaves, sometimes it just goes, and so we lost a little bit of product. And also, I noticed that there was a little bit on the stirring rod that I couldn't get off there without rinsing it off. So I tapped it off there as best I could. But that is going to lower your amount of anhydrate, which in turn will give a slightly higher percentage of water, which interestingly was the results that we got. So this is the in-class stuff. There is one attached sheet called post-lab analysis. Basically, you just have to do what's requested of you on that page. There's some little blanks, fill them in. You can recopy that in your notes, make that your third page, but that's the post-lab analysis. It doesn't take a super long time, and it is, I think, something you can figure out pretty well, but it's just a one page. So you're welcome to print that off if you want, and that's for the people that are in class. I'm giving that as the homework. They do the lab in class, and that's the homework, so that's the homework for you guys too. So pre-lab, hopefully you're already done with that. All the nice write-up that you had done today, and that post-lab one-page analysis, either recopy or just you can print it, but make sure you do the calculations that they ask you to do on that page for your post-lab. Okay? All right, and I'm going to give you the long weekend to finish this up, so this will not be due until Tuesday when you get back, so you have time to polish that up real nice and make a nice lab report. Okay? We will talk to you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the lab where I did all the work for you. Huh, it's really fair. I have to do work. Oh, wait a minute, I get paid. That's okay. No, we're good. It's okay. Hope you learned something. All right.